Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's DH Thorne here. It's been a little while since I did a Demon in Review video, so this is going to be the next Demon in Review video. I forget what number it is, but I'll figure that out for the title. This is going to be about President Marbas, and let me read to you from the Goetia what his information is. The fifth spirit is Marbas. He is a great president, and appeareth at first in the form of a great lion. But afterwards, at the request of the master, he putteth on human shape. He answereth truly of things hidden or secret. He causeth diseases, and cureth them. Again, he giveth great wisdom and knowledge in mechanical arts, and can change men into other shapes. He governeth 36 legion of spirits, and his seal is thus, on the screen now probably, which is to be worn as aforesaid, which in this case, if you read the Goetia and the other works, you're supposed to be wearing, a metallic badge basically made out of the metal of the spirit on your on your body, basically, or be kept in your pocket, that kind of thing. Now, Marbas is a very interesting spirit. When working with Marbas, there's another gentleman that I know very well, a guy named J.B. Perry. Got to give him a shout out because he works with him, not exclusively, but or at least I don't think it's exclusively, but Marbas is one of his favorites to talk about and work with. And honestly, if you want an expert on that spirit, I would talk to J.B. Perry, in all honesty. He's given me good information about that spirit, and I know he doesn't do a lot of YouTube videos and stuff, but he is quite active on Dark Sorcery. And if you make a post asking him on Dark Sorcery about Marbas, make a post and tag him in it, I'm sure he'd be happy to give you a lot of information about it. Marbas is one of those, spirits in the Goetia that has a lot of useful attributes. But one of the things I want to get out of the way, again, as usual, when talking about spirits of the Goetia, what they're said to be good at doesn't limit them to those things. This is the things that they are most known for, the things that they're most eager to use their energy towards, their specialties, and things like that. But they all have, they're just like any other person, okay? And some people are more generalized and some are more specialized. And even the people who are specialized, it's not like they're incapable of other things. So if you were looking for, a patron spirit or something to work with, you don't have to go with one that has necessarily a very wide rainbow of abilities. But Marbas would be on one of my short lists of spirits that's got a lot of potential in a lot of areas. He is an excellent spirit to potentially select for a patron. If you go through everything that's described about him, he pretty much has something in every area. And we're talking about he helps with divination, answering truly of things hidden or secret. He causes and cureth diseases, so he's great for health. And honestly, other than maybe rituals for love magic, healing is way up there. Health, healing, and wealth, are the three biggest requests people have for magic. And I can attest that in the few times that I've worked with him so far formally, he's come through one way or the other. He's either come through and alleviated the symptoms or helped with the problem, or helped warn the person of a potentially impending problem. So he is very good at health concerns. He can be used for baneful magic as well, because he can causeth, as they said, he can causeth diseases, not just cureth them. Again, he giveth great wisdom and knowledge in mechanical arts, and that is something that he's also been very active with me lately. I've been doing a lot of things trying to get my my streaming abilities to work properly, considering Google is getting rid of Hangouts, which is the primary staple of how I do live streaming with my friends, and it allows us to talk together and do it live on camera, whereas other things I'd have to pre-record them at best. And I'm okay with that, but it's a preference that we all have to be able to interact live with our audience when possible. I find that it's more interesting, it's more fun. We get a lot of more subscribers, we get a lot of more interaction, and we can really touch base with our fans and answer questions that they have live. So I prefer to live stream, but it's been a problem. YouTube is going to be canceling that service, and this week I had to figure out how to set up OBS and Skype to work, and there was a couple of headaches there for a couple people, but I think we're getting it ironed out. So hopefully You'll be seeing that starting this week or next week. I will be using that, probably starting with Kane, maybe Tuesday, which I don't know when this video is going to go live, but possibly Tuesday night. And then possibly with Dark Sorcery either this weekend or next. So that'll be getting solved. But Marbas played a role in that, obviously. He's coming along with mechanical arts. Now, mechanical arts doesn't necessarily include computers specifically in the sense that it wasn't written when there were computers, but I think it does apply to computers, even though computers are less mechanical. They're more calculative, but all these things are machines, so it perfectly makes sense. So I think he's very good if you're into technology. He's very good into computers. He's very good into machinery and things like that. If you have an interest in that, this can attract him even. I found that a lot of times spirits are attracted to people who share their interests. So if you're into herbalism, if you're into stones, Stolas will probably be in your life. If you're into psychology, Dantalion will probably be in your life. If you're into networking and socializing, don't be surprised if King Paymon's in your life. And so all of these spirits have this quality to them, and Marbas is no exception. Now, I would highly recommend this spirit. When he appears to me, now I haven't, in my experience with him, he hasn't appeared to me visually, really. It was more of just a faint presence. He's a very subtle presence for me, but he is definitely there. My wife saw him actually more during a dream that she had while I was working with him the first time. She was asleep, and when I finished, she asked me if I was doing a ritual. I said yes, and she said, because I was dreaming that a lion sat at the end of my couch where I was sleeping. I said, well, okay, that's pretty good timing. She had no idea what I was working with. She was in the next room or whatever. So he's definitely potent for people who have that sensitivity, and appeared to her for a reason. Maybe she'll be working with him at some point as well. But, Marbas, Vine, there's a lot of different spirits that share the lion motif, the lion aspect. And as we were discussing in a stream the other day about this, I think that was actually this past Saturday, J.B. Perry and Alfredo were on, and J.B. Perry pointed out something which I point out a lot, and he and I are in full agreement on, and I'm really glad he brought it up, and that is all of these things that you see about these spirits are symbolic, and they're not to be taken literally, in the sense that he's not really a lion necessarily as a spirit. It is just this is meant to tell you a little bit about him. He can appear to you as a man, as anything. He can appear to you as a dark shadow. He doesn't have to be a lion. But the lion is his, something that represents his personality. And I would say that in my experience, as limited as it has been, comparatively to others, like I said, I don't have as maybe clear a connection to him as other spirits. The connection I got was certainly regal in the lion sense. You certainly do feel king of the jungle. You certainly do feel the energy of very lordly noble when dealing with him. And there's pictures, I believe, of him that show him with rings and things like that, and looking very, very noble in my opinion. And I think that's a very key thing to notice. Unlike Vine, who's riding on a stallion and carrying a serpent, usually a venomous serpent is what it's described as, Marbas is just described as a lion. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to be in a humanoid form or just as a lion. And I kind of see it as, in my mind, I see it as like a lion like Aslan. Like here's this lion that just comes out and is a lion and speaks to you. And maybe that's why I'm not making a clear enough connection, because I'm putting too much, emphasis on what he looks like. So my connection with him has been mostly tertiary. I get impressions, I get sensations, and a few occasional words in my mind. So I'm not channeling him as clearly as other spirits. However, I am unmistakably felt his presence. He has absolutely influenced my life and my situation the last few weeks. He is an excellent spirit, and I do recommend him. If you're looking for a patron that can give you something, a little bit of everything, Marbas is a great choice. And I don't want to ruin J.B. Perry's gnosis of him too much, but J.B. Perry has this whole system of interaction that he's got given to him by Marbas, that he's developed with Marbas, that includes being given basically servants of sorts, special guardians, a very militarized echelon of lion protectors and guardians and guides that he can call upon for different things. And he describes how you can see their rank on their shoulder. they will carry out his instructions or take his requests to Marbas directly when Marbas isn't available. He also indicated that, you know, when using Marbas for healing, either physically or astrally, you have to imagine yourself, you know, you invoke Marbas a little bit. Okay, yeah, excuse me. Get late. You have to invoke Marbas a little bit, and when you do, you can basically essentially lick the wound or lick the area that's a problem. This is, you know, usually in your mind's eye, you know, you would imagine like, oh, I am Marbas, I am a great lion, I am licking the wound of the person who's got the illness or injury, I'm licking the injury away, I'm, you know, like an animal would cleanse a wound, that kind of thing. And this is how he envisions it. And I can understand how that would definitely apply for him. And I sort of tried it a little bit, but my focus was just talking to him. So these are just things to think about. Again, J.B. Perry has a big relationship with Marbas, and he works with him frequently. So again, give him a shout out. Mention him in Dark Sorcery if you want him to be more specific about how he works with him. Marbas, like most of these lion entities, seems to get very interested in blood, fire, meat, red wines, things like that. But that's mostly, again, when it comes to offerings, it's not really about the substance, it's about the intention and the energy and the sincerity behind it. So if you cannot procure blood, you don't want to use meat because maybe you're a vegan or something, you don't want to do something like that, and you're not old enough to use red wine, don't stress over it. Simply make your offering sincere if you want to make an offering. If you want to make a pact, make sure whatever you're deciding and agreeing upon is sincere. He is very noble. He does not like people who play games. A friend of mine started working with him, and it's been going very well for actually both of them. But one of them in particular, for a while, they were working very closely with them, and they got definite connection. So Marbas is a good spirit, guys, and I do recommend it. I mean, one of the other things I would also like to point out is that Marbas, when we're talking about Marbas, now he's you know, he's in the president category. You know, he's up there, and in a lot of, you know, systems, presidents and kings aren't far from each other in terms of power. You know, so he's very powerful. He's not a pushover. And more people should really look into the other goetic spirits besides the big ones everyone's talking about, Belial and King Paimon and everything. Look into these other spirits. There's a lot there. And again, you won't be badly served by working with Marbas, that's for sure. Well, anyway, this is a little bit of a short one, guys, and I'm going to try to shoot a few more, but for now, that's it. And I hope you guys liked it. If you want to support what I do, check out the little commercial that I put at the end of all my videos now. And we'll talk again soon. Show me your support by making sure to like and comment on this video. Subscribe and hit the bell for updates, and then, if you wish, share this video responsibly. If you want to support me further, or want to know more about my practice, or learn to master your own, consider purchasing my high-quality book, Become the Maelstrom. The link is in the description. If you need my help, or want to book my professional services, you can contact me directly on Facebook, or go to FromTheAshesPublishing.com and look for my list of services under Magical Services. If you do not see a specific service or ritual that addresses your concern, contact me and I can tailor-make a custom ritual working just for you. The link for all this are in the description. Thank you, and mind the shadows.